person sounds like that. That is singer Darlene Love, along with Stevie Van Zandt and Elvis Costello, performing a song from her new solo album on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert earlier this month. For more than 50 years, Darlene Love has performed behind the biggest names in music, but a career devoted to others is finally about her. Yes. Michelle Miller is here with Love's new album, and it starts with a promise made more than 30 years ago. Michelle, good morning.
Good morning. Darlene and E Street Band guitarist Stevie Van Zandt are certainly an unlikely pair. They have a bond forged by time that's now become a partnership, one that started with a little divine intervention and ends with a whole lot of love.
My whole life is truly a miracle. I've never been mad at God.
I'm hanging on to her. See, God, I'm with her. I'm with her. I'm with her.
She may be more gospel and he more rock and roll, but Stevie and Darlene share a friendship they say was made in heaven. What do you like most about him?
He's a friend first. And I know he's somebody I could really depend on. And you can count on your hands, on your fingers, people you can depend on.
Darlene would know. She spent her life performing in the shadows of others, singing backup behind some of the most famous names in music. Marvin, Elvis, and Cher. She wrote hits that made others famous.
I have this feeling that nobody has ever seen me. You know, nobody has ever truly seen me work. Because I couldn't sing to, 10,000 people without a record.
You work for Frank Sinatra.
But as a background singer.
I know, but why wouldn't they?
They wanted me to do what I did best for them, sing background.
After more than 15 years on stage, the gigs dried up, forcing Darlene to trade a microphone for a mop. What were you doing?
Cleaning houses.
Here's where she says God comes into play. In 1981, Darlene booked a solo show in Los Angeles. Stevie and his famous frontman Bruce Springsteen happened to be in the house. She sang one of their classic hits. That night, Stevie promised Darlene they'd make an album together.
It was an injustice that nobody was getting a chance to hear her up front, as far as I was concerned. Injustice bothers me, you know what I mean?
But fate would keep them from doing it. Darlene landed a role in the Lethal Weapon movies and a recurring performance on David Letterman. Stevie had his own career, touring with the E Street Band and starring in HBO's The Sopranos.
Let me pinch those bulldog cheeks. Come over here.
Then finally, after 35 years, the time was right.
What's
taking so long, Stevie? I don't know where to watch here, but...
A mere 30 years went by. I now have my own radio station and my radio network, and I have my own record company, and
You were Stevie Van Zandt.
Yeah, but I'm just a guitar player in the E Street Band, and then I was an actor, and then I was this, and then I was that.
So when he said, now's the time, we're going to do it, I'm making good on my promise.
Right. Not only did I believe it, everybody believed it.
Darlene got a little help from Stevie's friends. Paul Schaefer chipped in, and Elvis Costello and even Bruce Springsteen wrote songs. They squeezed 7 horn players into Stevie's New York studio to give Darlene the biggest sound of her life. The rest, he says, is in the hands of a higher power.
I had a feeling of unfinished business. That music lifted me and saved my life. I've always felt an obligation to say thank you any way I could.
What is the story of this album?
Starts with a gospel song and ends with a gospel song. And in between all the troubles that you went through, it just goes really through my life like a book.
Beginning, middle, and end?
Yeah. And it's not over yet. That's the great part. It's not the end.
No, it doesn't. It's just one chapter.
So good to see her get her time in the spotlight. I'm nuts about
Absolutely.
her.
The album's out, dropped this month, so go out and buy it.
I will.
It's familiar music, makes you move. You know, it just
Makes you happy.
It does make you happy. It really does.
Moving is good, Michelle. Moving is good. I like
I
her.
saw you moving last night, Joe.
Speaking of moving,